Hi, I'm Mackenzie with VanDOIT, and I'm here today with our founder and CEO, Brent Kline, also known as The Heavy. And we are here in Ames, Iowa at RAGBRAI, the Register's annual Great Bicycle Ride across Iowa. And we are actually in a VanDOIT camper van right now at RAGBRAI. So Brent, tell me, how many years have you done RAGBRAI?
This year is my 23rd year.
Wow.
Yeah, so started in 1996, and of course, if you ride that year, and then if you ride this year, even though it's 22 total years, this would be my 23rd ride.
Wow, and how many miles did you ride this morning?
62, I think it was.
62.
I never really look. I don't know what town we're going to, and I don't know how many miles that we're going. I just get on the bike and go, and sometimes I find out along the way as I hear people talk.
Right, so you stop sometimes and grab a bite to eat, see another small town.
That's it, yeah. So for example, today, I was really looking forward to ice cream. And Beekman's is kind of the staple of RAGBRAI for ice cream. And so they're usually within the last 20 miles of the ride, perfect timing. And man, it hit the spot. You got a root beer float.
Yum.
And big one, ate the whole thing. And I look forward to that. And that's part of why they call me the Heavy. Some of it's because, I'm the boss, but then some of it is for other apparent reasons.
Okay, right. Well, I love your outfit. That's
thank
super
you.
cool. Represent.
Thank you. Thank you.
that.
Actually, a guy that is part of our company, Jack Davis, who's also here riding, did the design, and I think
So cool.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a little retro. I love it.
Well, thank you.
So what started your passion for camper vans?
Okay, so when I was my grandfather started in the car business in 1947, actually in Manly, Iowa, so not that far from here.
Wow.
Straight north. And he immediately got into RVs. And Grandpa Woody, Woody was his name, Woodrow Wilson, named after the president. Grandpa Woody loved RVs, so he did automotive and RVs. And really, he did RVs up until the day he couldn't work, nearly couldn't walk, and nearly checked into the nursing home. He just absolutely loved RVs. Went to Texas every year in an RV. So he and my father actually did RVs and manufactured tiny homes all the way back when tiny homes weren't popular.
Right.
And did conversion vans and et cetera, et cetera. And so, that's something that's been going on for a long time within my family. And so I grew up really never knowing life without a van, without an RV. They took an old Greyhound bus one time and converted it, and all of our entire family and extended family went to Oregon. And so, but then we were always in a conversion van, and actually a conversion van was my first vehicle. So when I was 16 years old, I was driving a conversion van, picking my high school sweetheart up, who I ended up marrying. Awesome woman, by the way.
Aww.
This is a tremendous woman. I stepped way up. Jill Kline. And so I would pick her up in the conversion van. And, it was very innocent at the time. But, I look back and I wonder kind of what were her parents thinking at the time? Like about me coming in a conversion van, but maybe also what were they thinking, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess it's how you get the ladies.
So that combined with the fact that my father had a sporting goods business. So I grew up doing anything sporting goods, anything outdoorsy. Hunting, fishing. All of our trips really were Colorado every year. So hiking and biking. I mean, I loved a bicycle from the day I could ride one. And so you kind of combine, my past and the fact that that's all I really knew was a van and camping in vans, etc., with the fact that I'm raised in the sporting goods business as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you get an outdoor adventure van, a camper van, and that's the inspiration. It's kind of in my DNA, and I didn't even know at the time that it was such a passion, but I've definitely figured out that it became one over time.
Yeah, and now it's VanDOIT.
Now it's VanDOIT. You VanDOIt.
You VanDOIT.
Whatever you want to do, and you can do it in a van.
That's amazing. So how long did it take you to come up with the right design for VanDOIT, and who helped you come up with that idea?
So in total now, we've been at this for 2 years. The thing is, though, is we've only been selling them for 6 months. And the reason is that, really, the first year was getting a prototype because we wanted it right the first time. We wanted a van that was extremely functional, a van that was. This is a marine grade van. There's sun and water and things like that aren't going to hurt this van. Unlike the old vans, the days of old that had a lot of, the curtains were velour and the carpet was shag, and there was a lot of wood in the van, and the wood would break down because of the sun and the water. This van isn't that way. So we wanted it really, really right the first time. And we got that, but it took a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of engineers to get it where we have it today. And then the last 6 months we've actually been marketing. So then a year to develop, then another year to test.
Wow.
We got that down to the van that we wanted. Then we tested it for a year. I tested it. A lot of my teammates on Team 360 out of Kansas City tested it. It's a masters bicycling team. We put a lot of really active people in the van and let them test it. And then when we felt like we had the quality where it needed to be, then we released the van. And so that's been about 6 months of actually selling the van.
Wow. Well, I can say, because I'm camping in it this week, that it's super comfy, and I love it.
Yeah.
So I could live in it. So who is VanDOIT made for?
The one thing that we wanted to do when we had this idea, was to do everything about function and versatility. We wanted the ability to make it kind of for everybody. We wanted it to be a van that was priced to where you could buy it as your everyday vehicle, and that's who's buying it. Is people that want to just drive this and have the ability to have 7 passengers, but at the same time have all of this camping capability. So in this particular van, it's so versatile because you can have 7 passengers, you can have 4 passengers, 5 passengers, 2 passengers. You can have the kitchen pod with all the stuff, the whole setup, or you can take it out and put your seats in. So from a pricing perspective, as well as from an equipment perspective, we wanted it to where it could be your everyday vehicle, your daily driver. And we did that. This van ranges from $48,000 to $78,000.
Wow.
So really less than the price of a lot of SUVs, full-size SUVs. You can have this, and I'm telling you, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
And so that's who the customer is, really is, and it's amazing to me. We were talking about this yesterday. The number of women who absolutely fall in love with this van is incredible. And I think it's because they realize, from a size perspective, it's something they can handle. It's something they feel comfortable driving.
Mm-hmm.
It's also something that they can haul the family in.
Right.
Men can haul the family in it too. And at the same time, on the weekends, let's convert this thing. It's very convertible. So let's take the seats out. Let's put the kitchen pod in. Let's go have a good time. One last thing. It's really a lot of business owners and women business owners. It's pretty amazing. Catering and catering companies and all sorts of companies, flower companies, and as in not the food flower, but but things you like,
Yeah, florists.
Florists, yeah. And so they're buying these and they're using them for business, but then when they're not doing business out of them, they're having a great time with their family, and they're also hauling the family to events or soccer games or whatever. So it was built for really everybody, and that's really who's buying them. But there is somewhat of an emphasis on women and businesses. That seems to be about 80% at this point.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your busy bike riding week to talk with me.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. I always love to talk about these vans. It definitely is my passion. I've been camping as well in it, and with my wife, and hauling all sorts of gear and bicycles, and I saw you guys had eaten off the gear slide yesterday.
And showered off the back.
Right, shower off the back, eat off the back, eat off the side. We have the contraption for the side, so we've had a blast. Oh, absolutely. Watch some TV, play some video games if you want.
Yeah.
But we have had an absolute blast in this van, and we're sleeping unbelievably well. And
Me too.
That's what I always hear. We
Yeah.
have the bug screens that go on. You can turn it into a big tent,
Right.
and you can sleep basically in the outdoor air, and that's awesome. It's
Right.
just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and we've been running the AC, and I feel like I'm in a house.
Right. Yeah. It's
So
just
nice.
it is. It is all the conveniences you really need. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have to learn some coping skills, because you do, because you don't have all the room that you're used to. But you're also not having to unhook anything, like a giant fifth wheel or a trailer. You're not unhooking anything.
Right.
You're not driving a giant beast and trying to park somewhere. I mean, really, this is perfect. And I'll tell you this, we did a lot of study. We did a lot of study during that year and a half, during the first year of prototype, and then even the tweaks we did for the 6 months before we let it go. And we were finding out what people, there's a van life movement going on right now that's really incredible, which is why we got in. We've done vans since '47, but we decided to really focus with this brand on the van life movement. And we studied and came up with really there was a lot of people out there converting their own vans, and they would post online what they liked and what they didn't like, and what worked and what didn't work. And we took the best of the ideas and came up with the VanDOIT. And then we tweaked it ourselves and said, I think we've got some even better ideas. And so,
wow.
You can get on our website and see what some of those better ideas are. But for example, just as an example, these thermal curtains here. You can see the big canvas sack that you can stuff stuff in. There's a 3 to 4 inch gap in these walls from the window to the van wall. We decided to take advantage of that. So you got a thermal curtain, all that dead space, you can store all your clothes in there. And then, and it gives you privacy. It gives you the ability to keep the cool in or the heat in, whatever you're trying to keep in. And then when you're done, they're removable. There's a strap on each end. You literally take them down, fold it up, grab the handle, and walk into your house to do your laundry.
Wow.
Or the laundromat.
Yeah.
So either way, but that's a really cool thing that we've done, and we've done a lot of things like that. So we took every good idea we saw going on. We eliminated the stuff people weren't liking. We kept the stuff they were, and then we actually took our own know-how, which is a lot of years of know-how, and we added to it. So that's kind of how the van came about from an equipment standpoint.
Yeah, it's amazing that it's modular and you all use every inch of the van for a reason.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the electronic box can be steps into the bed.
That's absolutely right.
I love that.
And like the bed is hydraulic. You can see how it's got the cylinders on the underneath side here. So it'll go all the way down to as low as this cabinet, and it'll go all the way up to where you have to army crawl into bed. Right. So you can have a lot of space for sleeping if you want. You can have a lot of space for cargo. You can have a lot of space for cargo below if you want. So it's a matter of what is the need. So if you follow me, when this seat is taken out, the bed can come all the way down. But then when you need the space for the seat, you just lift the bed up. So yeah, everything's modular. We tried to make things work in more than one way, to be used in more than one way. As an example, the gear slide, one of my good friends that bought a van, he sleeps down low. He slides the slide out of the back of the van because he wants to sleep outside. And he puts the mattress that we provide on the gear slide, and then he sleeps out under the stars. Just absolutely loves it. But anytime he needs anything, or if it starts raining, he just slides the slide in, shuts the doors, and he's good to go. He's not going to get wet.
Cool. So. And I love the swivel passenger seat.
Oh yeah,
there.
Yeah. It's one of our customers' favorite things.
I know.
So simple, but kind of you can turn this into a mobile office, like you see.
Or a living room.
Yeah, living room. Yeah,
so
sit here and talk to
Dining
each other.
room.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Absolutely, and we do have a lot of features like roll-up tables that condense down to nothing, and then they unroll, and you can put the table right here. And so, yeah, we've made things very movable, very convertible, modular, functional. When we did the van, I'll say this: it was really about function over form. We wanted to be the Swiss Army knife of vans.
I love that.
And so, and that we had an article written that wasn't my idea. That was written by somebody else. A very positive article that we were the Swiss Army knife of vans. So, that's what we did is we made it all about function, really not about form at all. We weren't really that concerned about, like I said early on, the velour and the mood lights and all the things that cost you a lot of money, but really don't do anything for you. And what ended up happening, though, is it was really weird. When you look at this van, the first thing people say is, wow, how cool this van was. But that wasn't what we were going after. So we got lucky. We got the best of both worlds.
I got the hybrid.
Yeah.
That's awesome. The mood lights are my favorite part of the van. It's probably a little material or superficial, but
and here's the thing. That's what happens is that there's a lot of lighting in this van,
Mhm.
but it was all about purpose. We wanted the LED lights to cast a lot of lighting, but we wanted a red or a blue or a green light so that at night you could turn the lighting on and not wake up.
Right.
Like you wouldn't wake up your partner, and it wouldn't attract insects. And so there was a reason behind everything, but at the same time, you know, it looked great.
It looks
you know,
cool.
It looks
That's
cool.
awesome.
Right.
And they're custom made for each customer to what they want, right?
Yes, it's a little bit like going to Chipotle. We have certain offerings, and you know, there are certain changes that can be made based on what a customer's needs and wants are, but there are boundaries, because the only way to build a quality product is not to try to do everything that you can think of. It's get it down to what you're really good at. Build one thing, build it really, really right. Give it a lot of quality, and then when you do that, you also get efficiency within the factory, and that's when the prices can come down. And that's why we're $48,000 to $78,000 for really something that our competition is double that amount.
Right.
And not be all marine grade, and really not have all the functionality or the quality that we have.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Brent.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. You can check us out at VanDOIT.com.